Okay, is that coming through? Can you hear that? Yeah, I'm here. Nice, nice, nice. Sweet, 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 sweet. Okay, so for some reason, obviously, I hadn't connected the microphone. We do now. So what I started by saying is, hello everyone. Good to see you. It's been a while since, obviously, I've done one of these. Is there an echo? Is there an echo now? Is it gone? It's now echoing. Is that better? Desperately trying to turn things on and off. Can you hear me now without an echo? Yeah, okay. Right. Technical issues done with. Hello everyone. So yeah, been a while since we've done one of these things. And yeah, thank you all for coming out to hear about all of the latest stuff. If you're in America, happy Thanksgiving. And if you're not in America, happy Thursday, I guess. But yeah, so you've got me all wheeled out now because we've got a pretty significant new feature that we're here to talk about, and one that's been quite a long time in the making, or overdue, depending on your disposition towards it. What if you're not in America but still believe turkey? I mean, I don't think Thanksgiving is just being thankful for the existence of turkeys, but I might be wrong. And you're right, you don't have to be American to stuff effective food. Yeah, I'm getting a takeaway after this. Very much looking forward to it. I stand corrected. But yeah, as the title may have given it away, what we're looking at is, for the first time, we're getting some real sort of interactive functionality now being added into APOC mode. So I'm going to try and swap over, but I worry that what I'm going to do is cut off my mic. Is my mic still working? Because I had to change around. Still working? Sweet. Okay. It hasn't been so long since dusted off that it's not completely busted. Cool. Okay, so we recognise this screen here, all pretty standard. But the new thing that we've got now, let's move over to Apocalypse. We can see we've now got a very similar thing that we have to ranked. However, it's going to work really quite differently in quite a number of ways. So the first big thing you can see here is the amount of time remaining. These are going to be weekly seasons, so they're not going to be a whole month like the rank season. Apocalypse seasons are just going to be 1 week long. In addition to that, they're going to be starting on a Wednesday, not on a Monday. So they're not going to interfere with campaigns, they're not going to interfere with rank mode. They're going to be a very much self-contained, their own thing. The advantage as well to that is that where rank mode is your month-long activity, your campaigns are a couple of days, this fits really nicely into a sort of a middle tier of play, where it's a pretty nice, succinct gameplay loop, where it's just a week, but it's not as short-term and a kind of like you miss out on it if you're not there on the day, as it could be with a campaign if you've got to go do something else. So it's a really nice sort of midpoint, which we've been missing from the game for, well, forever. In addition to that, another sort of big difference, if we look through all of the arenas here, we can see that actually it only stops at 5, and there's no equivalency to Terror. So this is purely just you need to get this many points to get to the end of the season. There isn't a leaderboard associated with it, and so this is just, you have a week to get as far as this as you want to. There's no pressure with a leaderboard against anyone else. It's just how far can you get. And I think where a lot of our gameplay, as I said, campaigns, well, all of our gameplay, campaigns and ranked, all hinge around the leaderboard, trying to compete for the best spot, or you feel like you're doing really well but someone's got more time, or someone's got to play cards, or they'll be able to, whatever. You don't have to compete with that. It's literally just go at your own pace, It's a week long, so if you miss a week, it doesn't matter. You can get back on it. And yeah, it's PvE. It's the same system. So once I'll show you when we get into a match, but it'll be very much the same feel as a rank match. So it's got the same kind of matchmaking, got same trophies, but it's again just that sort of much tighter loop. Will the campaign cadence change? No. So everything else will stay exactly as it is. This is just being slotted in between that. And again, another reason why we haven't got leaderboards in this is because obviously there is a short-term time pressure with the campaigns, again, competing with the leaderboard, and then with the rank, that's your sort of passive. I'm doing this over the whole month. We didn't want to add a leaderboard as well into this because we didn't want to make it too aggressively grindy for these kind of things. So it's going to be any faction, and in fact, unlike ranked, your top 6 factions score in this. So this is going to be another thing that helps you sort of speed up the gameplay, because it doesn't mean that you have only 4 things that you really have to push really high. You can play around with as many of the factions realistically as you want, but for the players out there who still like to do I'm going to have my scoring factions only being leveled and then play my sort of last faction to keep the score up, there's still room to do that. You don't have to play all 9. Another big change while we're looking at this is you can see all of my scores start to 0. So at the start of each week, start of each season, all of your factions will be reset to 0. So it means that the pace of which you level up each time you go through the levels will be the same. There's no kind of like, I don't know how long it's going to take me to get to each of the positions. It also means there's a huge amount more freedom with which factions you play. I know that for a long time, people with ranked have said, well, I've got these new cards or this new warlord I really like to try out, but it's not in a faction that I've been leveling up in rank, so I don't carry over enough trophies for me to try and bring it up to the level as the rest of them. Not the case here. Everything starts at 0. Do the scoring factions change per week? Oh no, these are just the ones that so these are all just default ones. I don't know why it's sorted in that order, but I've been playing with some orcs. Levels up there. But yeah, look, we'll just take you in. So this is the Gaskell deck that I've been playing. Again, it's nice to finally be able to take these 400 deck points out whenever you want. And yeah, going into a match. And it's very much the same as it would be going into a regular rank match. How do the trophy wins stack up compared to ranked? So you need 9,000 trophies to get to the ends, well, to get to Terra in ranked. I'll go back through and I'll preview all of the different levels, but the short version is you need 2,000 trophies total in the week. So it's less than you would do per week for ranked. And add to the fact that you can level up 6 factions rather than 4. And so you've got those sort of easier matches at the beginning. It's not as hard to grind everything up because you're not trying to reach such a high competitive level with each of your factions. It should feel much quicker progressing than it does in ranked at the moment. And this is on the dev server. So yeah, I was going to say it's on the dev server. So we haven't got as massive a pool of cards to go up against. So yeah, there might not be as many exciting opponents, but they're still very much there. But yeah, we can look through this. So you can see that to get the first rewards, it's 200s, and then 500s, 900s, 400s, and then right up the top it's 2000s. So each of these have a single milestone, and then they have the same as ranked. They have which arena you finish in has a cumulative bonus. So by the time you get to the end of the season, you get 50 plasma, 10 card packs, a guaranteed legendary, and 2 guaranteed epics. And again, this is on a weekly cadence, so you'll be able to do this every single week. The way that the maths works out, this is pretty much exactly a quarter of the prize value of rank mode. So it's basically doubling the rewards that you would get from ranked. So yeah, we're basically these sort of seasonal rewards, they've been doubled. You get one half of them through the rank season, through that 4-month cycle, and then every week you get an additional quarter of the rewards that you would have done. But as you say, with the guaranteed legendary, you're getting a much higher density drop of the guaranteed legendary cards. In addition to that, each of the milestones, you're getting an additional pack of cards, 1 pack, 2 pack, 2 packs 50 coins, 2 packs 100 coins, and then if you get all the way up to 2000, you get 3 packs 150 coins. But note, where the boundaries are here, you only need to get to 1400 to get that full maximum weekly rewards. No, the rates haven't changed. There's been no change at all to the base rates or anything like that. Another thing that we've done, as you can see, may have noticed when I'm going through this, it's 200, then 500, then 900. You can see that the spacing of the arenas is ever so slightly exponential. So it's an additional 100 points per, or trophies per arena. So this is so that players get separated out much more quickly. So if you're a sort of more experienced or hardcore player, you'll be blitzing through those early ranks, those early arenas very, very quickly. And then if you're a more casual or a newer player, it will be spacing it out a little bit more, which means that a lot of the issue that sometimes people say when you start a new rank season is it takes a while for the decks and the general ranks sort of meta to settle down. Because we've got this sort of much easier way to get out of the early arenas, it should separate players out much, much more quickly. So we shouldn't be seeing as much of a issue where players get mismatched against decks. So yeah. On the time investments, the idea is very much for it to be on the lighter side. So what we're seeing is that a huge amount of the most invested players tend to get to Terra quite quickly and then spends a lot of time sort of grinding and jockeying for position on the leaderboards. And so there is a lot of, I wouldn't say, wasted time, but there are a lot of battles in there that are purely just for position. So taking those games out, or more of those games out and into this, it shouldn't be that many more. It's going to be less games overall than is required for campaigns, so we're not doubling the campaign load. And you can see we've got 51 trophies there, and that's sort of a medium amount. So the amount of trophies you can get is between 45 and all the way up to 150. But yeah, as you can see, I've had enough in 3 battles to get over the first section, get my first rewards. There we go. So it moves pretty quickly. I've got only wildcards there because it's a dev profile, so I've got all max, but are we introducing more deck slots? So not currently. It's something that we've talked about before internally in the studio. It's something that we're considering. I think if we were going to do it, I don't know that we would necessarily do it as a sort of a full-time addition. Full-time addition to any of the modes, but I think as a sort of modifier. But yeah, more card slots. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm talking about. I mean, we've talked about adding more card slots into the game. It's not as straightforward as it would seem because of just the space and the UI that we've got. But yeah, it's possible. Definitely, it's something we're considering. But it might be something that we use sort of as a modifier. When we brought it out, we'd probably bring it out first of all as a modifier. And depending on how that works and how it functions, it might be something that we potentially roll out more wildly to Apocalypse Seasons. But I think part of what the appeal and the general sort of idea is that we're getting a chance to make use of the biggest and best cards and the Supreme Commanders and stuff like that. So I don't think the deck slots often are too much of an issue. I think it's only if you're playing a very specific list that doesn't lean into it too much, that you struggle not to feel that you feel like you could do with more slots. But I totally get what you mean. Yeah. Are we guaranteed the blue energy thing for every arena? What's the blue energy thing? Oh, plasma. Right. Yeah, so you can see with that and also, yeah, obviously contribute skulls to your battle pass as well, which is great. But yeah, the plasma, yes. So you can see I'm already in the Octario sector, so I'll be getting 20 plasma and 3 card packs. And you can see that, 294, that wasn't too hard to get. So you'll be getting that fairly quickly, and by the time you get down to the end, 50 plasma, as I said, 10 card packs, legendary, and then epic. So yeah, that's kind of the core for it. Let's take another Supreme Commander out for a while. Is there anything else? Anyone else is really keen on? Oh, these guys. Do you remember these guys? We got lent those back in an event ages ago, and here's the original Scarbrand. Should we take out the old Scarbrand for a roll? If anyone remembers that from the old events. So that was, what was that? That was Logan's rule and Skulltaker's rule combined. Yeah. I had adverts. I don't think we were supposed to be rolling ads on the channel. I will look into that. But yeah, thank you for bearing with us on the ads. Who would be your top picks if you could play Scarbrand? I think the problem with Scarbrand, obviously, because he's the 200 pointer from those old campaigns, that he hasn't got as much deck space. Get Khan in there. Can't not have Khan in there. That's pretty decent. Don't think there are too many cards hidden away in here that shouldn't be seen, so I think I'm pretty safe. 13 doesn't feel like a lot. Do I have any Inspiring Presence? Alright, let's look for a 13-point Inspiring Presence. 7, 12, 14. Okay, let's take him out. Let's pop Cranon in. Now we've got 18 points. Will Knight Supreme Commanders be coming along? I think I would never say no to that. We've been trying to follow very much the GW releases. So when Knights come around, which isn't too far away, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not going to guarantee anything at this point. But yeah, it would be nice to do that, particularly now that we've got Apocalypse mode up and running. It would be cool to do, give Knights their own Supreme Commanders. We don't have an excuse not to. I mean, the excuse always was they're just too big to fit into the game. Well, we fixed that now, and particularly now we've got a special mode just for them that's really working properly now. Yeah, never say never. And on the notes of Supreme Commanders, it's been a while since we've released any. Now, part of that's been to do with, obviously, hasn't been any faction updates. Codex's releases. What's going on here? For a while for 40k. But we know there's a lot coming along. There aren't any Eldar Supreme Commanders. Yeah, I don't know really what we would do with that. I think my pick would probably be. I don't know. We'll have to see. I haven't seen obviously the rulebook, but I think maybe Azaman might not be a bad shout. Just because obviously he's got the flashy new model, he fits the bill as being like an important commander. But yeah. How far along compared to the framework rework? The framework rework. Is that just more about general stability stuff? If it is, then we've already rolled out some of the general stability. The game hopefully is starting to feel a lot more stable already. We've eliminated a lot of the sort of key builds, sort of key issues. But there's always room for improvement. But yeah, we've already rolled some of those out. Absolutely. Yeah, that was a big chunk of work. But yeah, as you can see, again, because we've got 6 to level up, first battle 60 just to get up to 2,000 shouldn't be too hard to do. And again, it lasts a week. So I was able to, on the playtesting, I was able to get 1,000 out in half an hour. Admittedly, I did get 100% win rate. I'm not sure that all of you are going to get 100% win rate, particularly, I mean, I was playing against these decks in the dev. I can't boast to be like the best ever, I'm not. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you sat down for, I don't know, an hour and 20 minutes, and you just absolutely smashed it, then you might be able to get through it all. But I think the nice thing is there's going to be a lot more deck variety going into this, and you time to get flex your Supreme Commanders and stuff like that. Good question there about, are we considering themed decks? So sort of like detachments or sort of sub-faction bonuses. We've talked about it quite a lot. I think there are a number of challenges with it, which is sort of how exactly to do that, how to make it work. I think one of the biggest obstacles would be just on a practical side, the volume of work. I wouldn't want to release it where, for example, it was just Sisters of Battle came out, we gave them the Sisters of Battle buff, but then every other faction that wasn't Sisters of Battle and Servants of the Emperor wasn't worth playing. And so you think, okay, well then we've got to do a Mechanicus one, we've got to do an Agents one, we've got to do an Astra Militarum one. And you're like, okay, well, we've done 4 for that one faction, but then what about all the other factions? It wouldn't be fair if it was just Servants of the Emperor getting it, and they'd be much better than everyone else. So we'd have to do, okay, well, let's do Space Marines, let's do Walks, and then suddenly you've got to release like 50 of these at the same time. So, yeah, I would like to do it in some form. It's just getting it to work in the right way. And I think the easy way of saying, well, it's not as interesting a buff, but it works, and it works across everything really easily, like tying it to specific keywords, or just say, if you have X numbers of the same keywords, then the buff happens. That'd be really boring. And I don't think quite as impactful as we want. And I think if we want to do that, we want it to really feel impactful. And yeah, thanks, Lodger. Thanks, just seeing that with 100% win rate against Tom. Yeah, it's good to have you here. I think it's got to the point where we've beaten Tom so many times that he just doesn't come to these anymore. So yeah, quick recap. As we said, was rank mode. Now we've got Apocalypse mode, weekly seasons, and it's not got a competitive arena to it. It's just grind up the ranks, and by the time you get to the end of the season, you just get the rewards. Simple as that. It's not tied to anything, and by the end of the season, you'll be getting 50 plasma 10 card packs, guaranteed legendary, and 2 guaranteed epics, as well as some milestone rewards as you go up along there. You can play with up to 6 factions, and it gets reset at the beginning of each week. When is it coming out? Well, if this starts on a Wednesday and it's not that long until Christmas, I suspect that the time this will be coming out will be next Wednesday. And that's not just me being cagey. Yes, next Wednesday is the plan to roll this out, so it's really not very far away at all. So yeah, I mean that is the main big headline. I kind of want to play, but I also want to talk to you, and I find that I can do both, but then I'm not really paying attention to either. But yeah, no, this should be coming out really, really soon. And yeah, works as you see it. So I think touched on Supreme Commanders as well. So yes, we want to keep them coming. Obviously, been a bit of a gap. This is part of the reason why it's been so quiet. You haven't seen as much of me because there hasn't been as much sort of like really big headline things to talk through. Supreme Commanders have obviously been like the big headline. I get to show them off and get to talk through them. The other thing, we've been seeing a lot of comments and sort of questions about the new web store. So for those of you who don't know, we've now got a web store where you can go and get sort of make purchases, but directly sort of through us online. And a lot of people saying, well, who's Little Yeti? What's all this about? So Little Yeti aren't technically sort of like third party. They are another part of our parent company, Phoenix Games. So it's not going through anything sort of weird or wonderful. But basically, you can get things like plasma and cards primarily at the moment on there. You get a 20% bonus on what you purchase. So if you're going to buy it in game, so let's say 1,000 plasma, you'd get 20% bonus. You get 1,200 plasma on the web store. And the reason that we can do that is that basically we get to get more revenue out of it. We don't have to pay as many fees because it gets directed through us. It doesn't have to go through sort of like paying sort of licensing fees to people like Apple and stuff like that. Are the web store content's going to be expanded? Yeah, so they are absolutely going to be expanded. So there are going to be a lot more options to do for that. But yeah, honestly, if you want to support the game more, then doing it through the web store is the best way to do it, because you get more for your money and we get more out of it as well. It gives us, better consideration. I wish you would consider using a pop ladder and staking popular campaigns, taking us through the campaign locations. Yeah, what we've tried to do here, to keep it a bit different, so this is more just like a sort of tour of the galaxy, starting with the Arteria. This is sort of like non-specific sort of campaigns and locations. But if you look at how we've done these, so these are each of the major sort of 40k sort of campaign scenarios that we've had. So we've got Caradon Sector was the fifth from last big campaign series, then Octarius, then Nakmans, then Segmentum Pacificus, and then the most recent one is the Nephilim one. So you're talking about the Vashtor series. This one is, here we go. This is where Vashtor turns up. So these are all the Forge Word battles with the Mechanicus against Death Guard, that storyline. Octarius is the Orc Empire one. That was sort of in between that. Nakmans is the Night Lords one, the sort of bit between, Nakman's the sort of portal between the two sides of the Great Rift. And then Segment Pacificus, that was right at the beginning of this edition. This is the Tyranids arriving. And then this one is the most recent one, which is like everyone's noticed that Necrons can turn off the Great Rift for a bit with the Nephilim anomalies. So, yeah. Is Little Yeti not working for Combat Cards? No, they don't work for us. They work as part of our parent company. So we're part of Phoenix Games. And Phoenix Games has like a big company. Oh, is it? Wait, sorry. Yeah, it is working. You can make purchases on there. I don't know why that wouldn't be there, but yeah, it should be working fine. We've had people making purchases on the web store already, so I know it is for a fact up and running. So yeah, I don't know why that will be coming up. Right, let me just quickly check through my other things as well, make sure I've covered all the things to talk about, because I easily get distracted while I'm on this and lose my train of thought. But do feel free to fire away any questions and stuff like that. Like, I'm very much here to chat, because, yeah, as I say, it's been a long time since we have. Yeah, I guess I can mention as well that we've got our next live stream coming up on the 12th, so that will be our Christmas one. So you can expect all of the details of all the Christmas fun that we're going to be doing, and obviously lots and lots of Christmas giveaways. And for those of you who are here just to hear about giveaways, I haven't mentioned them yet, but yes, we are going to be doing a giveaway at some point in this stream. And because you want to be given away, yeah, well, that's something I can't really help you with, but I can potentially give you free stuff, and slightly different going on there. But yeah, so because it's the Apocalypse Seasons, what we'll be doing is we'll be giving out, we'll have 3 winners for a pack of 2 Supreme Commanders and 3 winners for 2 Lord of Wars. So yeah, there will be 3 sets of 2 Supreme Commander packs and 3 sets of 2 Lord of War packs to get you started in Apocalypse Season. Start smashing face with the maximum amount of points. So yeah, Tom is no longer a regular part, I'm afraid, of the live streams. I haven't absorbed him. Sounds painful, but no, he our as yet unreleased game is getting very close to not being unreleased anymore, and he's working very much full time on that. So yeah, it's just me at the minute, just me. That's all right. I'm not that bad. Oh, thanks for the bits. Never get bits on the channel. Really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yeah, Tom got scared. Do you need Supreme Commanders to play in Apocalypse mode? No, you absolutely do not. No, it's 400 points, and that is literally the only difference. I just really like the Supreme Commanders, so I just have a lot of fun playing with them. But yeah, absolutely. You should know how important those work. Yeah. Oh, that's sweet. Thank you. I mean, Twitch is all right. It's all right. I think it's one of those things which you just kind of have to really get on with. Like, I never used to be able to watch streams, and then I didn't really get them. And then obviously we start streaming. I was like, well, I should probably watch some streams and see what this is all about. I totally get it. It's a sort of weird TV, but also a nice conversation, which you're just kind of like involved with. But I totally get the time. Like, not a lot happens. It's just kind of like chatting. But yeah, from point, I don't know if any of you do streaming, but from the point of view of streaming, it's really strange. It's like having a continuous internal monologue that you're speaking, but you're also talking to people, because obviously you've got everyone in the chat. So like a very one-sided conversation. So you've got to be good at talking to yourself. Do the arenas get more difficult the higher you go? I mean, yes and no, in the sense that no, there isn't anything that's forcing them to be more difficult, but yes, as in it's a matchmaking consideration. So you'll be playing against other people in those arenas. So it doesn't mean that you only play people in those arenas, and because I'm because I'm playing against I'm playing on the dev server at the moment, there aren't a huge pool of cards and decks in here to play against, but yeah, it will be a consideration when you're finding the match. So you're more likely to be matched against people also in those arenas. So as you get higher, you'll be playing against other high ranked players, but that's no more difficult than it would be in the regular ranked seasons. Can we expect an Eldar Supreme Commander? Yes. That's not really spoilers. I don't really have any deets or any teasers or anything like that to share about that. And it's certainly not locked in at this time, but yeah. Roger, just subscribed? What do you mean you're just subscribed? Oh, subscribed with Prime. Oh, thank you. I thought that was the regular subscribe notifications. I was like, Roger, you should have been subscribed ages ago. No, but cheers. I really appreciate the Prime subscription. And for 8 months as well. We haven't even been streaming for the last 3 months, so I'll take that all back. You're a legend. Thank you very much. I thought that was notifications turned on for a second. But yeah, it's been a while since we've been having any sort of codex releases, which is why we haven't had any Supreme Commanders. So yeah, you can expect Eldari to get one as well when it comes along. Do we have a time on when this goes live? We do. Mentioned earlier, but I'll mention it again. It is on Wednesday. Which Wednesday you say? This coming Wednesday. So yeah. How do we get the giveaways? I know why you're here then. We usually get the giveaways when you've got fed up of asking me questions and I've got fed up of talking, and we wind up the end of the stream with yeah, thanks, Frig. We wind it up with me doing some giveaway at the end. To be fair, I've kind of talked about all of the main points, and you've probably got, as Frig's saying, we've got a bit fed up of me playing the same Garskull one. You don't want to sit watching me do back building for a long time. Yeah, alright, I'll do one more. I can get the Silent King out. But yeah, let's do one more battle, and then we can do the giveaway. My favourite Warlord, and why is it Supreme Commander Gaz? So I think Supreme Commander Gaz is definitely one of my favourites, 100%. I just really like the theme. I know everyone goes, Harry, why this is just a wall of text? Why did you write this? And that's fair. But also, I just like the way that it plays between the balance of, do I want to bring big cards? Do I want to bring lots of little cards? Do I want to maximise triggers? Do I want my triggers to be really, really big? As an opponent, do I kill them as quickly as possible, or try and reduce their wounds? Or if I reduce them too much, don't kill them. Body block. I think it's cool. If we're not talking Supreme Commanders, it's still a look nice bit. I just really like this. It's so satisfying to go off and just snipe people. Abaddon's really cool as well. I really like Abaddon because he's one of the few momentum warlords that really, really feels like you've actually hit that proper momentum, and it feels awesome when you do. When you manage to get enough kills so that you're always rolling on your max ready buffs, and so each turn you're able to say wipe out 2, wipe out 3. Okay, I can't be stopped. That kind of snowballing is, yeah, really, really nice feeling. It does also mean it can get pulled apart if you don't manage to get enough kills in one turn. Suddenly it does fall apart a bit. But yeah, no, really good. How has the new Warlord rate changes affected the win rates? So we had really interesting. So Gilliman and the Lion were like really noticeably far behind. So we have the win rate, average win rate for Warlords peaks at about 80%, and then kind of comes down to about 70%. So there's not too much in between, nearly 70, but then noticeably Gilliman and the Lion were then like a drop, and they were sitting at about 60. It was a proper step off to those two. They've now crept up. They're in the 70s now, so they've sort of joined the rest of the pool. So they're not like a big drop off anymore. They're not top warlords, and obviously we're talking about in regular ranked, not in apocalypse seasons, which again will change it up. But yeah. Are you factoring in PvP win percentages when doing balance passes? For the most part, no. So I think that it's not a fair enough representation of how it actually works, because people play very different decks when they're in PvP, and they approach it very differently as well. I think the factor we kind of do bring into it is whether or not a card gets banned, or generally just as a sort of touch point of, does this actually really feel bad or not? But yeah, we don't, or I don't factor in too much into like the actual balance changes, because it's not the main way that the game is played. The best way to learn how to properly deck build. So the best way to to learn, I would say, is just experiment. I think the best place to start is just look at your warlord rule to begin with and work from there. So this is at the end of your turn, all your cards ready. Fine. So what I've done is I've gone and I've looked through my cards and I've picked everything that has a ranged buff. So at the end of my turn, I will be getting 3 ranged ready buffs every turn, which is a pretty big deal. I think the next thing is always make sure that you've got a good coverage of utility pieces. So as much as you want your big cards that everything revolves around, make sure you've got enough support of things like Inspiring Presence and Medicaid. And then I think the final thing is just do pay attention to your card levels, and don't, until your collection's like really decently leveled, don't worry too much about the rarity of the cards. So legendaries and epics are better, but they need the levels to back that up. Your best cards, level per level, at least in like the first half of level progression, will always be the commons and the rares. So just, yeah, pay attention to your cards and how they've been leveled, I think. Question about Little Yeti. What are blitz sales? I don't know. I would imagine. So they don't just do it for us. So Phoenix Games has got a number of different game studios. We're just one of them, and they've been supporting a number of the games for a long amount of time. So I would guess a blitz sale would be, again, what it sounds like, some kind of flash sale with significantly discounted prices for particular items, I would guess. So, yeah. And another thing, reward points in Nifty. So I'm guessing, yeah, I would imagine that'll be backdated. They are very much about sort of providing a service and sort of catering to individual players. So yeah, they were very much taking into account your historical purchases. You can get involved and talk to them as well. But when is the Eldar Supreme Commander? Yeah, so we've already mentioned this. As with all the Supreme Commanders, they will be aligned with the Codex releases. So, I mean, unless you've been living under a rock, we know that we've got some really good Eldari and Krieg previews very recently. So we've got the Krieg coming first, and then we've got Eldari after that. So don't know exact dates, but it's going to be, well, it has to be in Q1 next year, I would guess. As to who the Supreme Commander is going to be, that's up for debate. Like, honestly, up for debate. I don't know. I mean, in the current codex, they don't have any sort of like labeled Supreme Commander. So who you would pick as the Supreme Commander? So I guess kind of depends. Supreme Commander Fulgrim must be soon. Can you imagine if Emperor's Children come out before we get updated Thousand Suns, World Eaters, or Death Guard, and all of the people in the Discord who for all of this time have been saying, hey, when are we getting the Demon Primarchs? They get Fulgrim before they get any of the other ones. But yeah, definitely. We don't even know if Fulgrim's actually going to be a model, but I mean, they can't not release him, to be fair. What will be the downside if you lose a match? Exactly the same as in ranked. You'll lose trophies. So it's the same trophy system. We haven't adjusted that. As I've said a couple of times, there isn't any sort of difference in the matchmaking or anything like that. So yeah, the trophies up, trophies down will very much be on the same. How's rank looking right now? I haven't started playing it since spending time growing. I don't know. my rank season is on the dev server, so it's not reflective. Right, okay. I've waffled enough. I've made out the 45 minutes, and that's normally the point at which I kick off the giveaways. So God, so keen. So for the first one, let's do some Supreme Commanders. Now, fingers crossed, this works. Dun, dun, dun. So we've got that started. It started. There we go. Nice one. So yeah, it's the exclamation join. I had started playing around with the the different types of exclamation point to do it, but it's just exclamation join. There you go. Got all those tickets. Get your tickets. I've had 2 more people join and start viewing recently, so you get in there. What are the tickets for? They're for a giveaway, so you get a chance to get 2 Supreme Commanders. There we go. 2 Supreme Commander raffle. It's going for users to join. Press exclamation join to enter. So yeah, if you join it, you get a ticket, and once it's done, let's have a look. How do I open it? So I did this last time. Couldn't open it. Here. Maybe it's when it's ready. He does this because he thinks it's hilarious. Yeah, I do. No, I genuinely do get confused sometimes because the UI is just not that intuitive. I think it'll be ready. You got 30 seconds to do it. There's normally a countdown for it, but you know, I can't see it. What an SC is? It's a Supreme Commander. They're like the sort of souped up warlords. "30 seconds must nearly be up by now. I've got a really bad concept of time when I'm doing these streams, but get your get those in. Right, let me just hit the refresh here. See what happens. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's 3 minutes, not 30 seconds. There we go. Look, I just need to press refresh. That's what it does. We've got 32 people in here. We've got 47 people watching. So 15 of you haven't joined. We got the first one to join was got Watchgeek, Veribaka, Anthony Pretzel, Warriorio, Tixton, Dirachir, Goblin Wizard, Steroline, Bow, Flat Knight, Radical Ferret, Cashback Games, Lodger, Mitty May, Rainier Wolfcastle, Kaiser Colson, Starry Yono, Atlas, Frigus Frig, Hybus, I am Eron, South Defiant. I feel like I'm doing like a Patreon shout out, and Big Sugar Lump, Cyber Kobold, yeah, you're all in here. Timothuel, Darth Django Fett, Hydra Dominatus, Sparky, Chris Tribe Chem, Daddy Thick Snack. Wow, what a name. And Nameless Eye. There we go, it's done. So I think you're all in there. So it's over, it's enter, you've all entered there. So 15 of you didn't want to join. Outrageous. But let's pick a winner. First one, Dirachir. Well done. Very exciting. You always win these. I swear you always win these. Congrats. Big congrats. Got 2 more of these to give around. Without sound. Has the sound gone? Next one. Big Sugar Lumps. Congrats to you. Sweet. And got the last winner for the Supreme Commanders, Nameless Eye. Congrats to you. So there we go. Those are our 3 winners. Dirachir, Big Sugar Lumps, and Nameless Eye for the Supreme Commanders. We're doing 3 Supreme Commanders, and then so it's 2 Supreme Commanders in a pack, and then we've got another one. We've got 3 Lords of War. Oh, we've already got 2. We've already got that running. So it's an active giveaway. Fine. And then we can complete. There we go. 3 winners. Complete that. Done. Nice. So congrats to you 3. Then we've got 3 more giveaways, which is for the Lords of War, and it started now. So if we get the exclamation join, get in there, and this is for 2 Lords of War. So that each of the packs, they're just any and all of them. So it's one big pool of all Supreme Commanders. You get 2 cards out of that, and then this one is all of the Lords of War. You get 2 Lords of War out of that. And it should be a nice little giveaway to help speed you up on the new Apocalypse seasons. So yeah, look at that. Got 33 users, 33 tickets. So I think all of you have already given tickets out, because there were 32 of you that joined last time. There's 33 of you now. I'm not gonna read all these out again. God, 3 minutes is a really long time. I guess a lot of streamers just do these like in the background for like minutes, and they'll just have something really interesting to say in the meantime. So this is when I miss Tom, because then there'd be something I could say that would be making fun of him or something like that could last for 3 minutes. Just gonna have a sip instead. Yeah, doing exclamation join isn't gonna let double join you. Oh, sorry, the scoring factions. No. So it's just your top 6. So you can use all of your factions, just like you can in regular rank mode. But it's just whichever 6 you choose to level up. The reason that we've chosen 6 is so, again, it feels different from rank modes. It also makes it slightly easier. They only do it for 1 or 2 minutes. Oh, Tom's so stingy. And I can see why, though. I mean, we've got a minute left of the giveaway. And yeah, all factions reset to 0 at the beginning of each season. The reason we did that is, sometimes maths is hard, and it was quite confusing at the end of each season to work out exactly how many trophies you're going to get for each faction. It also meant, because you're carrying over your points from other factions, is that you felt locked out of playing particular factions, because it could be, I've got this really cool new warlord, but I can't play him because he's not in one of my top factions. So it just resets to 0. Everyone starts on the same playing field. You can switch around which cards you want to play with every single season. And it's only a week long, so the resetting to 0 also makes sense with it being a week long, because it's a clean slate every time. You don't feel like you've missed out. If you miss a week, doesn't matter. Everyone gets reset to the 0 at the beginning again. And I think it reinforces, again, we haven't got a leaderboard there, so it just keeps it that much more casual, flexible sort of play style. And there we go. Entries are shut. Card packs and the Apocalypse rewards, are they faction specific or random? They are random, so they're just like the existing rank packs. But I will stop burbling so we can pick a winner. Well, 3 winners. So the first winner is Rainier Wolfcastle. Congrats to you. Got 2 Lords of War on the way to you. We got another one. I'll let the congrats come in. Next one after Rainier is G Strikem. See, that looks harder to pronounce than it actually is. But yeah, G Strikem 1. Congrats. 2 Lords of War on the way to you. We've got one more. Give it a go. Corrupt Devil. Congrats to you. And that's all 3. So congrats to all of you. The urge for me to try and click another one, I want to do it, but I will save that, as I said, for the next stream which we're going to be doing, we're going to be doing this on the 12th. So we're doing the official Christmas stream on the 12th, and it'll be absolutely packed with giveaways on that one. We always do loads of giveaways on that one, so do tune in for that. We'll be giveaways out the wazoo, and yeah, now that the giveaways are over, a couple of viewers have already dropped off. But yeah, there isn't much more to say. So happy Thanksgiving to those who are giving thanks today. Happy Thursday to everyone who isn't giving thanks today. National French Toast Day, fair enough. But yeah, I guess just a quick overview. We've got seasons coming to Apocalypse now, which is kind of cool, long overdue. So you get to flex your Supreme Commanders Lords of War, 400 points, weekly seasons, a lot more casual, 6 factions gets reset. Yeah, should be a lot of fun. Yeah, it's kind of the biz. So yeah, congrats to all of those who got rewards. For those of you who are on the Discord, the easiest way is just send me a DM. I can get those across to you. Those of you who are not on the Discord, you can DM me on Twitch. So obviously you're in here at the moment. So yeah, send a DM on that. I'll get in touch and I'll get your user ID and I can award this directly to those users. You're gonna DM me anyway. Thanks. Yeah, appreciate it. Always love the DMs. And yeah, so it's kicking off on Wednesday for this. Maybe a single plasma. I think that would be more effort than it's worth for both of us for a single plasma, isn't it? Yeah, for those in the Discord, why not? Yeah, fair. But yeah, for those of you who do get in touch either on Twitch or on Discord. If Twitch doesn't make any sense and you're not in the Discord, then as a last resort, put in a game ticket and say, hey, this was me. I know some of you don't all of you try it. We know who you are. But yeah, that's it basically. So yeah, I'm pretty pumped for this. It's gonna be good fun. God, 4 a.m. Stood up at 4 a.m. to watch me chat. Well, thank you very much. Have a good sleep. And yeah. Right. I'm gonna leave before this gets out of hand. But yeah, appreciate all of you and see you all soon. I've got to leave this. Bye guys.